Good morning. It is day 15, I think. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yes, the world class is consistently great. Okay, but let's talk first about last week. Do or die commitments. How did commitments go for you this week? What any special thing happen? Like, I think I realized I forgot to read the action step for last week, which was make a list of five most important things you're committed to in your life and ask this critical thinking question. Are my habits, actions, and behaviors congruent with my commitments? Ah, what a good question. And, think
Ooh.
about that one. But
I'm
this is
just,
what that's definitely been on my mind. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say no, not completely,
Well, and are we really ever completely in alignment?
right?
Right? We have to, sometimes you just have to keep pushing against the rock, right? Yeah, so okay, anybody make some new habits or spend some time looking at the things that they're super committed to, or now you're all like, "Oh, crud, I forgot all about it." That's usually me. I forgot about any commitments at all and just did all the things. So that's me most of the time. But this one has definitely been on my mind a lot because I've really felt um, kind of called out of mediocrity, and I don't know how much progress I'm making at this point, um, but I think putting the attention differently so that your attention is more focused. My attention is more focused on, completing things. Those first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes of the day are getting a lot more um, consistent. That's pretty much all that's getting anywhere so far. But it feels really good to even just have that tiny little 1% change. Um, because it makes me think that um it gives me more confidence in myself and in my ability to keep commitments to myself. And that really is where confidence is built, is in when you say you're going to do something and then you do it, that builds confidence in you. So that's a that's a great place to start.
And I
Oh,
remember with Kirk Duncan, how he was that, I think that was him. He was like, if you make a commitment, stick to it. Make sure you do that because then it helps you to gain that win-win um attitude that about yourself that you
yeah.
you are a winner. And so it was interesting this last weekend. I was supposed to go, we'd gone up to Idaho. It's a 7-hour drive to my daughter's house, Cheryl's daughter's house. We'd gone 2 weekends ago, but then I was supposed to go back again last weekend just to be with sister-in-laws and just to have fun, but I would get to see her again. But I realized my greater commitment was to my health. But I couldn't do that drive again that quickly. And so that was a real struggle though, because I felt like I was letting everybody else down and all this stuff. But yeah. So then also with little commitments that I'm making with my business, um I appreciate I have a my account manager. She'll check in on me and just say, okay, how's it going? Even and I don't always answer the phone. I can't always when she calls, just to check in between our appointments. And I appreciate that because it helps me remember, oh yeah, I made commitments that I was gonna look at the business overview um, guide and all that stuff. So I'm doing that. So I feel like having someone to check in with, like follow up with, is is helpful when we are trying to keep commitments. So finding an accountability
Yes.
person is really key, I think.
Yes. Yes. That's so key. It's so powerful. And I have found that daily accountability is so much better than weekly accountability if I am actually going to be accountable.
Yeah.
And the daily is like even if it's a report that you write yourself in your journal or, something like that. Linda, did you have something you wanted to add?
Uh, well, yeah, I don't know. I just went to bed at 4:30 because I said I'm going to get this done last night, and it took till 4:30 this morning. So,
Do
uh,
or die, huh?
do or die, and I thought it has to be done and be more organized. Mine is being organized. I just feel scattered a lot of times,
Mhm.
and I didn't know it would take all night to get that
Right?
way.
Darn it. Well, I hope it helps and definitely snag some extra sleep today because that's another important piece.
Hey, I found an app that's called Let's Goal, GOALS, or is it goals? No, Let's Goal. Anyway,
Cute.
so you get to look at your vision board, you look at um your goals, your mantra. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Reminds you to do your stretching and your exercises, and
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Nice. And I love that too, because like, I mean, especially as we age, we have more need for flexibility. We have less flexibility and, motion is the lotion. Like if you're going to keep your joints healthy, you got to move them. And there's a lot of joints like in your back and between your ribs and all these places where you start to like when you start to stretch a little bit, you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of tight.
Well,
That
not
you
only
didn't notice
that,
when you were a kid.
yeah, not only that, but not just joints, but how much did we rely on our youth to like keep our body in shape? And yeah, now we need to work at it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's commitment, right? And organization and all of those things. And so yeah, these are really, really good. So I hope that you're getting this sense of like we read these each week and we look at them and hopefully we're thinking about them at least a little bit during the week or we're seeing where we applied them accidentally. But the whole point is that we're pushing toward or moving toward or drawing ourselves toward becoming more of that champion mindset so that we can reap the benefits of that as well in so many ways. All right, well, let's move on to number 15. Um, the world class is consistently great. And this is, okay. A lot of performers are capable of outstanding performance, but the great ones all have one thing in common: consistency. This goes right along, doesn't it? Day
Mhm.
after day, they perform at the very highest levels. The reason they're so consistent is because their actions are congruent with their thought processes. Champions usually have a very clear mental picture of what they want, why they want it, and how to move closer to their target objective. While average people are complaining about the sacrifices they have to make to be great, the champions have already made those decisions and continue to move forward. Erratic performance is a result of erratic thinking. So, the first step in mental toughness training is gaining mental clarity. Champions invest an inordinate amount of time thinking, planning, and clarifying their goals and targets, as well as mapping out an exact action plan for attainment. Consistency in performance is the direct result of knowing why it is necessary to perform well and the benefits that will accrue, especially when the going gets tough and the pain sets in. Consistency is also created by practice. Champions are usually thought of as people with the most talent, and sometimes this is true. Yet, champions are known to invest large blocks of time practicing their craft long after everyone else has gone home. Practice may not make perfect, but it does create consistency in performance. So that's wow, right? And here's the quote by Henry Daugherty, an American industrialist. He said, "Plenty of men can do good work for a spurt with immediate promotion in mind. But for promotion, you want a man in whom good work has become a habit, right? You don't want to just give
Mhm.
them that little spurt, that little, um, you know, promotion that little reward, the carrot, right? Because if that's all they're doing it for, they're not going to still be there after that. And then you've got a person who potentially is in a leadership role that you cannot work with because they just are not willing or motivated or consistently great. You can't rely on them at that point. And that's something to really consider both for your business and for your personal life.
I think that is a lot kind of related to like dating. Like when people date, a lot of times will show I'm sure I've been guilty of this. We'll try to be compatible with the person that we're dating by doing things we wouldn't normally do. And then when it's like when they've been won over, those things stop happening and it's like, wait, who is this? Who did I just
Right?
connect myself to? Who's been married? Yeah. So let's be who we are, huh?
Right? Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As Jordan Peterson says. All right. Any other thoughts? And I'll read the action step because I don't want to skip it today.
I liked the part too where you said about something about visualizing. Is that what it was?
An inordinate amount of time thinking, planning, and clarifying their goals and targets, as well
Yeah,
as mapping out that action plan.
I love that. I've been learning and kind of studying more about that in this last little while of that it makes a massive difference when we can visualize and feel the result that we're seeking, the goal, and it'll help bring,
Yes.
like, I've heard awesome stories of people achieving that and seen a few incidences in my life that I am trying to create even more now.
Yeah, no, I love that. I was talking with my physical therapist, I think it was last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about, maybe it was 3 weeks ago. I think it was last week. But we were talking about visualization and how, um when my feet went down and lots of things happened and I really was not in a position to do almost anything. My feet were totally on fire and it was hard to focus on anything else during that time. But the thing that I realized is that I had to start making those mental pictures of me being able to walk and me being able um, to hike and kayak and ride my bike and just the different things that I had done before, but that I couldn't do right then. I had to bring that picture and that feeling back into my body. And he said, they've done studies on this and they'll have like groups of athletes, basketball players in particular is the one that he talked about. And they'll have groups of athletes who will visualize making the shot for the same amount of time that another group of athletes are actually practicing making the shot. And then they put them up like kind of against each other, I guess, to compare the results, and there's virtually no difference in the ability for them to make that shot on the visualizing versus the actual practicing. So it's powerful, and what you think about matters. What you visualize, what are the pictures that you are putting into what your life, your future, your activities, your health, like all of it. What are the pictures that you are making in your mind? Because those are the things that you are out picturing or manifesting or drawing into your life experience because of what you're thinking about. So super powerful. And that inordinate amount of time deliberately sitting with those pictures of what it is that you want, that's a big deal.
Brenda,
Yes.
I look at stuff like that more like a visualization board. And I've talked to people that have come to my classes, and I said, like next month, I can get some magazines together and we can make a visual board. And that way you can start to be consistent in looking at that board and following, um, you know, then, if it's manifested in your brain, you're more apt to strive
Yes.
for it.
Yes. And if you're thinking about and you're focusing on those things that you want, then you're more likely to see ways and ideas of how those things can come to pass in your life. But if you're constantly looking at your bank account and seeing that it's
That is
empty,
how it works.
right?
Right.
Then if you're checking to see if it's going to, if you're going to bounce, like you, it's amazing, but this is the truth. This is the truth. Like you've got to have the energy and the feeling and the emotion that you're turning all those things around so that you're having a different experience. Okay, here's our action step for today to gain mental clarity and focus. And Linda, this is what we were just talking about. Create a written vision for your life. So this one is going to be done in words, but you could do it in pictures instead. Imagine your life 5 to 10 years in the future and list all that you have done, accumulated, and become during this time. Use the letter to a friend format that we use in the Corporate Mental Toughness University program. Write a letter to a friend, real or imaginary, and date it from 5 to 10 years in the future. Let your creative mind freewheel without any thought of how you will achieve any of these things. Be sure to include as many details and as much emotion as possible. When you have a world-class vision for your life, you've taken the first step to world-class performance. So this is something that that I did, and I've told you before, but I'll tell you again. When we were in process to get our home, and I love our home so much. It is so beautiful. It's big enough for our family. And when Tim and I talked about the things that we wanted, we had some specifics, like kind of non-negotiables, and this home had absolutely every one of them. And we really wanted our family to be able to move here and to be able to participate and experience living here. But we also recognized that it was not comfortable for us to imagine ourselves living in a home like this. And it was uncomfortable even, as people knew what we were looking at. And even after we moved in a little bit, we had lots and lots of comments that like felt like maybe we didn't deserve to be here. And but during that process of creating this opportunity for ourselves, we found the home, which you have to find the place, right? We knew that it was where we wanted to be. We made an offer. Our buyer fell through almost immediately after we made the offer. And I should be packing, I should be cleaning, I should be stressing or something, right? But no, I was sitting at my desk with a notebook writing my name and my address, my new address, like I was addressing letters or envelopes, and then writing all the things that we were planning to do in this home, the weddings, the mission farewells, the baby showers, the just gatherings, family parties, birthday parties, like all the things. And I just pictured it, wrote it out, and just lots and lots of gratitude with that. And things started to come together. And it was a really bumpy ride while we got things settled with we got another buyer, and then their attorney or their what are they called? Realtor was kind of a piece of work. There was a lot of stuff going on, and we were just so protected and blessed through the whole thing. And we ended up being able to move in almost a week before we closed because the house was already empty and our buyer was just yanking our chain so hard. And the feeling of coming in and bringing our stuff in and just like it was like we just walked out of all of that chaos and all of that noise. It was still happening. All of it was still happening, but we were so cocooned from it because we were able to just like walk away and wait for things to resolve. And it was the most amazing experience of my life and visualization at that time, because it was just like so like you have this choice, right? Of what you're going to think about and what you're going to focus on. Are you going to focus on the deal breaking down, or are you going to allow the deal, you're going to focus on your life and allow the deal to come through? just let it, and then take inspired action. Obviously, if there was something that we needed to do, then of course we would do it. But it ended up working out so beautifully. In fact, one of the things, because we hadn't closed on the old house, we had gotten everything hooked up, all the electricity and stuff hooked up over here, but we'd forgotten to hook up the water, and it was the weekend. So we had no no hot water, and it was, we had a shower and we had people that had to get ready and stuff. And anyway, we looked at each other and we were like, well, let's go back to Murray. So we went back to our house in Murray and we showered in the hot water that was still working over there. And then came back and saw the stuff. But it was just like everything worked to our good. It was so powerful. And if you believe that, if you put that as one of your core beliefs, everything works for your good. Everything works for my good. I know it does. I know it does. And it works out in the most perfect and beautiful ways. My friend Becky was traveling over to back to Ghana, and they stopped in Paris. Her daughter for 2 years um, had been picturing a day spent in Paris. And when they got to Paris, she's wearing her Paris, a day in Paris shirt, right? This little girl, she's 12, and their luggage is lost and their flights to Ghana are canceled. So they have this day in Paris while everything is getting solved, and they're looking for their luggage, and they're but 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 the my friend and her daughters just went and enjoyed Paris because they knew that everything would totally work out. And how fantastic to not have to haul their luggage all over Paris.
I don't think they shipped it out until the 17th.
Everything works for my good. Everything works for my good.
It's been taking 10 days to get.
All
I
right.
love that, Brenda. Thank you so much. I recently have started, and I think I need to write it out, like you said, with that letter to clients and people that I work for, my builders,
Yes.
like what that feels like, what that looks like when I get to work with them, and there's that beautiful relationship that I'm seeking in my builders and in people that I work with. And I've started doing that a little bit, but I'm excited to write that out
Yeah.
and do that in the way that we're talking about. So that's exciting, so that I don't have to carry the luggage
Yes.
around. Let's just have the fun and enjoy the
Right.
time.
All their luggage was found, and their flights were rebooked for the next morning. I mean, it was perfect. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining live, and anyone who's catching the replay, comment below. We'd love to hear any of your thoughts that you're having about this and ways that you are going to move forward with this. Being consistently great, or any of the other topics that we've been talking about. Just quick before we go, I want to mention that there are a lot of resources that are available both on for you as part of the Abundantly Healing team. So one thing that's super exciting, if you haven't already had the opportunity to hop on Ginger Customer Track, that is live. It's still kind of exclusive access, but we'll be doing an official launch after leadership. However, you can have access to that. Anyone can have access right now, so you can just ask for that. Just reach out to your upline and ask them to help you get connected if you would like to do that. And you definitely want to do this because well, actually, Chris, do you mind giving a little testimonial?
I have got to go through it now because we rushed to get through that 10-day stuff in 7 days, and I've got to go back. I've already got my live guide coming. Yeah, I found some great nuggets for my personal health, and I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much good information that you're gonna have access to. And then also, and you were probably already connected to the Facebook groups and different things, but did it feel, I feel like that's one of the key features there also is that Ginger helps you to get connected to the resources that we have available.
Yes, yes. And well, and the other resources that are in there were absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe that she'd found all of that.
I know, and put it all in the one place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that Ginger does not talk about is our upline team, Partners of Liquid Light, with Lassen. And that is a great resource with great information. And they're the ones that are doing the weekly wellness workshop. They do a weekly Learn More where there's more about the product or there's more about business, kind of depending on the week to week. And there are some other things like that. So that hub is available, and I will actually post that in the Team Ginger tribe. So if you're not in the Team Ginger tribe already, then get into, actually that one doesn't, you don't get invited into that one with the customer track, do you? We'll invite
Mhm.
you in. Let us know if you are not in the Team Ginger tribe, then we will invite you in. The other thing is, enjoy your time with the customer track for sure. But if you are wanting to continue to grow and build your business, um, there's a really good trainer named also Ginger, same girl. She's pretty great. And she will take you through on social media marketing in a way that doesn't feel spammy or weird or any of that. So look for those resources and then block out your calendar. Success is scheduled. And I haven't remade the calendar visual yet, but I will get that done so that we can have that so that you can block out the times on your calendar. Tuesday night and Thursday night, we're consistently having those meetings. The one is the wellness workshop. You can invite people to that. You can invite people to both. The other is to learn more. So just be aware that one of them is a little bit more kind of business focused. Well, sometimes it's very product focused. Last week we had a wonderful um, conversation and learning about microbiome. It was really
That was
good.
wonderful.
Yeah, lots of really good information. So you have access to that. We want you to know that you have access to that. You're invited to invite people. People can come to this call as well. So if you want to bring people in that you think would really be able to benefit from some improvement in their mindset or who kind of think this way already and would just be a great addition to our group, bring them in, and they're invited to come to be a part of this. So, all right. Okay, I see we have a couple of chat comments in the chat, so I want to check those. Okay, very good. Well, thank you. All right. Well,
I
thanks. Go ahead, Linda.
I have one more thing. Last week, your husband was going to put some PDF file in the chat, and then he wasn't here. Let me go back
Was
and see what
that
that. I don't know what it was, but he's here today. I wonder.
Tim, do you remember what that was?
Let me look. I know.
Yeah, I found a PDF of 177
Oh yeah, that.
Oh,
Mhm.
right, but
yes.
I looked at it and it actually isn't that's copyrighted material and that was up on the internet illegally, so I don't really want to spread it. I'll continue
Okay.
to look for one that we can actually put on there that's we're not or breaking their copyright.
That's
So
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
wondered
if
about
you
that.
if you want to grab a copy of the book, grab it on Amazon. I think it's like $20 or something. Yep.
I
It
think
might
you can
look,
get it in a you can get it as an ebook too, right? If you get
yes.
Kindle version.
Yep.
So
Yep. I just looked on the next page. And there's a world-class resource. Sign up for Mental Toughness University 1-day seminar and 12-month follow-up process, and you can learn more at mentaltoughnessuniversity.com. And my book is old, so I don't know if that's still available, but you can go and take a look at that if you want to. All right. Well, we're a little bit over time. Thank you so much for joining and have a great day, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you.